What's up, everybody? It's Lawrence again. Today we have a really exciting shoe. It is called the Nike Moon Racer. The Nike Moon Racer is inspired by two different shoes. The first one is going to be the Nike Moon shoes, done in 1972, and you can see that over here. It's quite beat up, and it was named after that because the sole pattern, when you put it on dirt, looked like the moon. Secondly, the inspiration for the bottom of the shoe is actually the Vaporfly 4%, done in the React foam, which is also the inspiration for the Vapor Street. Let's get into the review of the Nike Moon Racer. So let's start with the upper of the shoe. The predominant piece here is the nylon that's over here. You're going to see a large Nike swoosh done in a pebbled leather. And then finally, looking at the rest of the shoe, there are some panels over here for aesthetic reasons. So this is done in a suede. There are 4 different holes in there, very similar to the Nike Moon shoe. And then towards the back is also some suede here as well. Going into the front of the shoe, you're going to see a shark tooth-like pattern on the suede that runs along the laces of the shoe, as well as this stripe over here that has the sharp teeth as well. Very, very vintage look. I really do like that part about the shoe. To finish it all off, you're going to have flat laces over here. Going to the back of the shoe, you are going to see the sole come to a point, which is one of the things that makes the Vaporfly 4%, as well as the Vapor Street, very, very similar. And then finally, there is a leather piece that has Nike embossed over here. The main issue that I have with the shoe is actually this piece. I really don't like it because it doesn't necessarily go down, and it kind of just stays up like that, and you kind of have to look at it. And a lot of times if you're moving around, it'll just kind of flop up like that, and it just looks like there's something wrong with the shoe. On the inside of the shoe, you're going to see a moon pattern for the insole. I would show it to you a little better by taking it out, but it's actually glued down to the sole, so I can't do that. I don't necessarily want to destroy the shoe. On the sole of the shoe, it's basically all full React. I think out of any shoe that's available on the market, this probably has the most React in it, and so it runs all along the shoe into the back, and there are striation marks, as you can see that throughout. The most prominent piece of the shoe is this volt over here, and it's actually done really, really well. I'm not sure if it's dyed or if it's painted in, but it feels like the React foam itself is that color, which is cool because having some of the painting stuff come off over time would kind of suck. Going to the bottom of the shoe, and I do really like this outsole pattern. Most of this is rubber. This is going to be pure React over here, and then there's some nibs over here that is made out of rubber that you can see over here. So what are my overall thoughts on this shoe? I really like them a lot, but I don't think I'm going to end up keeping them. I wore them just for probably like the last 20-30 minutes or so. They're really, really similar to the Vapor Street from an underfoot feel perspective because it's probably the same exact sole, so extremely comfortable. The vintage look on the top is really, really actually nice, but I'm not a huge fan of the colors overall. I think the Volt and the khaki-like color clash quite a bit. And the overall materials on the shoe for $150 are not the greatest. I mean, this is pebbled leather, but it's not a soft pebbled leather. You can tell it's not the greatest, and the suede itself also isn't. It's really hard for me to actually justify paying this much money for another shoe that feels a little worse than the other pair. While I do like the vintage look, I have a lot of other shoes that kind of help me with that look anyway. So I have Air Max 180s and Air Max 1s and all the other shoes that will also give me a vintage look. And so while I like these, it's not on the top of my list. Looking at comfort, the upper is okay. I'd say that it's a vintage upper, and so because of that, I wouldn't say there's much comfort out of it. It's actually a lot looser than the Vapor Streets that I have, and so I don't think it's a huge deal by any means, but definitely doesn't have your hug your foot feel that the Vapor Streets have. And so really, really okay upper. It's not a huge deal, but the bottom of the sole is actually super, 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 super comfortable. I would say that it is a little high, and sometimes you may or may not feel unbalanced if you have lateral movement, but unless you're actually going to go left and right, your chances of actually this happening are pretty slim. When it comes down to sizing, I would probably go true to size. I think if it were a half size up, it'd be a little too long. I definitely would not go half size down, so I have the same size on these as the Vapor Streets, which is true to size. I do have to say, these look pretty great on feet, and so I think for your average consumer, if you see these on the shelves, I actually think your average consumer is really, really going to love these shoes. It's not a hype-beast shoe by any means, and so because of that, I really, really, really think that we'll see these out in the wild, just from a comfort level perspective, as well as kind of the looks of it. This looks very similar to the Cortez, which is a really popular shoe. This looks pretty similar to the Waffle Racer, which is also a really popular shoe. And so hopefully Nike does have a home run from a very GR perspective with the shoe in the future. And that's it, guys. If you have any questions about the shoe, or if you have any questions about buying the shoe, definitely let me know. This is a really cool collaboration, has a cool history behind it, but ultimately I just have too many shoes in my collection to keep it. And that's it. So until next time, this is the Nike Moon Racer. Peace.